Looks like we're live. Hey guys, Nicola here. Welcome to Conscious Crypto Traders live stream that we do every Wednesday at 11:30 US Mountain Time. I'm in Costa Rica.
We're live.
Hey guys, hang on a second. I've got
welcome to
I'm listening to myself on another
live stream
on another thing. Hang on a second. Let me get rid of that.
US Mountain Time. I'm in Costa Rica.
There we go.
Hang on a second. I've got
Oh my God, I'm everywhere.
listening to myself on another live stream.
I apologize for that, guys. I'm listening to myself on all the channels. Oopsie. And here we go. Yay. I've just moved and it's a bit chaotic at the moment. You'll see in the background, it's a bit messy. And my kids will, so I do apologize for that, but I have an exciting show for you today. I'm on the S&P 500. You can see we bounced off of support very nicely, got a rally, which is why I think we're seeing a rally in the crypto market. It's also coming up to full moon. And I want to talk about what price action we can expect between now and Saturday, after Saturday, through to May for Bitcoin. I want to have a look at Ethereum. I want to have a look at XRP. And I want to have a look at Chainlink. So if all of that sounds exciting and that's going to be really worth your while to get you in a really good framework, to be able to make really good decisions, conscious decisions with your crypto experience, like this live stream, click the bell and hit all as we dive into this. Really important that you start thinking about your exit strategy if you don't already have it, and have your sell orders in, and I'll tell you why. So before we get on to that, two announcements. Number one, we're having a community sale day of our NFT projects. So if you head on over to quantumfreedomnfts.com, link is in the description below. You will join our whitelist. You'll get an email all about how you can receive 2 free NFTs for every one that you mint, and that offer is off the table in a few days, so you're going to need to act now to do that. So you want to head on over to the whitelist. We talk a lot about the project, why we think it's going to be really of value to collectors, and certainly the community we're building is going to be of value because we're raising consciousness. And then the other announcement is that for the month of April, we've got 50% off my private mentoring and mastermind Crypto Ninjas group, which takes you from good hodling to good spot trading to good trading with leverage, a year's worth of training videos, and 4 mastermind and mentoring sessions live on Zoom per month. And there's a 50% discount off of that just for April. So go down and click the button and check that out after we've gone through our live technical analysis for Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, XRP. And so I said last week that we want to watch this pink zone here for the S&P 500 because we were falling, right? We've been in a downtrend, and now we want to get up above here at about 4,472 points, so that we can know that we are breaking this this downtrend, right? So we've got a downward trading channel, and as you know, that is a bullish sign, even though we have a bearish market for a moment as we're going down, creating lower lows. Ultimately, this breaks to the upside and heads all the way back up to where it started if the pattern plays out around about 80% of the time, right? So that's cool. Let's get on to Bitcoin, because this is what I really want you to be thinking about. And I have been doing a lot of technical analysis and study of all of the various different opinions as to whether or not we're going to get a parabolic run up, or if we've already topped out in the market and you need to start looking at when are you going to sell out of your hodling position, when are you going to start focusing more on shorting if you're trading with leverage, and so on. Feel free to ask questions as I go along too, guys, because I will answer those. So let's just get rid of this. Several months ago, I was warning everybody about the full moon to new moon phases, especially the this one here, the where are we? Hang on a second, let me just get in here. Oh, I'm on the 4 hour, that's why it's all weird. Let me come into the daily. The full moon phases, by the way, guys, is an indicator you can get on your trading view chart. It's called moon phases, and you will see whether you believe in the power of the moon over human psychology or not is irrelevant. If you just look at the charts, you will see new moons dump, full moons pump. And if we're in an upward trend, the full moon, each time we get into a full moon, we usually get a higher high. But when we start going into a downward trend, we're getting lower lows and lower highs every time we have a full moon, but we still get a pump out of it. So where we're at right now is a defining moment for Bitcoin to look at this and go, are we in a breakout here? See, we've got this triangle, symmetrical triangle, where we're breaking out and now we're coming back up to test this to keep going up, or are we going to be reestablishing a downward trend? And if you're in our Discord server, you know that I've been watching watching these charts very closely to have a look at where we're at. And I think I warned everybody that this new moon we would dump, and we've dumped. And now I'm warning you that we've got a pump, and it looks like that pump may have already started. So let's look at this in terms of your longer term strategy as well as your short term day trading strategy, right? I want to go over these dates because these dates have been accurate and we've been warning everybody about them, and they're working out really nicely. Full moon is on Saturday, early in the morning, late Friday night, Saturday, depending on what time zone you're in. And full moons, we often dump down into the full moon, create a bottom, and then we start coming up. Now we can start pumping before the full moon, and it looks like we could possibly be creating a V-shaped bounce here. So it looks like we could also already be going into it. Now this full moon is all about prosperity. So it's my sense of it is that if we are looking for a big pump to get up above 48,000, this is the time that it's going to happen. And if it doesn't, if we get another black swan event, if we get some other stuff happening, then obviously, we are in for a little bit more of a volatile ride. But let's look at these dates as we go. Full moon pump, we've put it here, 15th of April, full moon there. We warned you about, that should say the 18th of May, it says April. The 1st of April, new moon dump, we've got that. So now we're warning you about the 15th of April, full moon pump. As I said, could happen a little bit earlier. But the next date that we need to watch out for is the new moon, 30th of April through to June, where we start going into retrograde season. The last time we had a retrograde season, this is what happened to Bitcoin. Mercury goes retrograde, we dump. Saturn goes retrograde, boom, massive dump. That is where I'm saying, I think that's where we could actually officially top out in the market and head down into a prolonged downward spiral. There are some analysts that are saying we've already topped out, and we might, and this impulse may only take us to 60,000, I think it is. 58,800 to 60,000. So that's an area I want you to write this down, write that down so that you can watch that and make sure that you are watching around these dates for when we could possibly reverse and not get a parabolic run up, right? My leaning is more towards we haven't had the parabolic run up, but at the same time, my plan and my strategy to exit all of my holding positions is to watch this level for Bitcoin at around 58,000 to 60,000 very carefully, setting alarms, because if we get a reversal and we head down, to me, that's an indication we could possibly go lower, and I'm going to be looking at selling out all of my positions. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, so obviously you want to take what I'm saying, go do your own research and make your own decisions. But I want to make sure that you don't miss the top of the market, because 90% of people miss it, right? And they end up selling when we dump, instead of holding for another 4 hours to 4 years to reach your capabilities. Now look at this. This is pure speculation, by the way. Here's our full moon. Let's say, good case scenario, the full moon pumps for 2 weeks all the way up to the new moon, right? I personally would really like to see this to be the parabolic run up. But I don't know if we're going to get that with everything that's going on in the stock market, right? But we let's say we create a higher high and we come above 52,000. I would like to see us come above 52,000, because a new moon is a dump. So we hit the new moon and then we dump. But here's the deal. On the 10th of May, Mercury goes retrograde, and Mercury retrograde is usually a reversal pattern. So we could start this parabolic run up 10th of May and head back up to where the new moon is on the 30th of May. And then that goes into our retrograde season on the 3rd of June for Saturn. And that could be when the big dump is. Now I'm going to take a screenshot of that. I'm going to redo this, and I'm going to post it on TradingView, and I will post it in our Discord server, the link. So if you're with Conscious Crypto Traders over at Discord, you can get the link directly, so that you can mark these dates and see that is a potential for what could happen. Now that means that we would top out at 71 to 74,000. I think it's possible that we could go to 150, 180,000 if we have a parabolic run up, but I am going to be watching what happens here based on dates, and I'm selling out on these dates, because when I worked in the stock market, we had this saying, sell in May, go away. Because for a couple of months over the US summer season, the charts usually head down, right? So I will be looking at scaling out from the 30th of April through to the 30th of May, based on what's going on in the charts of my hodling position and my spot trading positions. And then we dip, I'll buy back in the dip if I need to, if it looks like we're still going to be heading up, right? That's one scenario. This is also another scenario. And when you go back to your portfolio, you want to be thinking about this. And if you're trading with leverage, you also want to be thinking about this, of putting in shorts. That is that this new moon pump may not get up to 48,000, may come back down and create a lower low, confirming we're actually already topped out and we're in a bear market. So this is why you want to be marking on the charts when we hit 47,000 to 47,300. You want to be watching very carefully any resistance and any potential pullback, because you might need to rescue some of your hodling position and then buy back in on the dip if we get the dip. That's scenario number 2. This is another scenario that we just get a parabolic run up in the next 3 weeks, all the way up to the new moon, maybe get a little bit of a dip, keep going, and then plummet down somewhere in May, between May and June 4th, June 3rd to June 4th, right? That's possible because when we look at XRP took 24 days to go up to 3,000%, right? Here's XRP. And XRP right now is probably going to return you more than Bitcoin, in my opinion, because we've come back down, touched the bottom of this triangle, right? See, we've broken out, came back down, retested as support, failed, but found support here, bounced off of it. We get above here for this new moon, and then XRP could take off. It could take off and it could go all the way up to $2.54 in a smaller symmetrical triangle here. This is the golden ratio at 279. We could go up to 310, but this bigger triangle here, this big one that goes all the way down to the bottom, if we treat that as a symmetrical triangle, then we could be going to $8.22. And there's a lot of analysts saying that XRP could top out at between $8 and $10. It is also possible we could go to around about, $35, $47 as well, depending on, how this, the SEC's lawsuit resolves itself, which I think we're going to have some resolution in the next 2 weeks, which corresponds with the new moon pump, right? So that's what we're looking at for XRP. So in my opinion, XRP is a really, really good entry point right now. And you can always dollar cost average down if we break this, but we're at the pinnacle of this breakout here. So given that, if you look at the full moon, we've got a full moon pump, full moon pump, full moon pump, full moon pump here to the left, full moon pump here to the left, full moon pump, and then dump, because here is where we started in a downward trend. But in an upward trend, we pump higher each new moon. Does that make sense? So that's really, really awesome. So now let's look at Bitcoin to see what we could be expecting over the next week. And because it is possible, and actually I want to use my other chart, my day trading chart, this one here. Anybody got any questions on that, by the way? Because I want to make sure that you're going to go away from this and spend the next couple of days as we head into Easter, to spend the next couple of days really thinking about your exit strategies if we don't have a parabolic run up and we top out, or we've already topped out and we don't get above, we don't get above this next high here. So this is, this is looking like a W to me. Can you see that? Boom, 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 boom. And we could now also be creating the beginning of a bull flag on the 4 hour. And that is going to take us to, and it's a nice W as well, because the bottom of the second V in the W is higher than the first one. So that's very nice. And that could take us to at least 42,951. So watching this trade here to see if this is a bull flag, it is going to be really important. I wouldn't jump into a long if you're not in one right now. Personally, for me, I would wait for a confirmation, because often we dump on that last day into the new moon before we get a pump. And so we've pumped now, we could still retrace back down to 40,341. We could even retrace back down to 37,500, 38,500, something like that, and then take off for the bull run. So these next few days are very, very difficult days that we need to be very, very conscious of when we're trading. Hey, Susan, Kelly, Raz, great to see you here. So yeah, so that's kind of like what I'm looking at. This is also a downward trend. See how this downward trend here, we've been creating this as support, acting as support. We break above that, come back down, retest it and take off, then I think it's off to the races. I think we are going to get a very, very nice pump. And remember, on the daily, if we come down into the daily, I have created this line here, which we broke above. This line here was acting as support. This line here acting as ascending support. Sorry, this line here acting as resistance. This is a trend reversal ascending triangle. We broke out too early. And I remember when we broke out of this, I was telling everybody, this could be a fake out because we've broken out. The pinnacle of this doesn't actually happen until May. So we may come in May, we may come up here, trade down again and here for a while before we break out. But remember, sell in May, go away. Sometime in May, we could see the top out. So this is the bearish scenario, not the bullish scenario. On the charts right now, not looking good for a parabolic run up. So often with Bitcoin in the crypto market, you've got contradictory indicators. That happens all the time. You get a bearish pattern and a bullish pattern paying out. So we need to be looking at our bullish and bearish divergences on the daily and the weekly. So let's have a look. Where are we? Where are we on that? Because if we go back, to the weekly, to where we had the big dump, the first big dump here, we had a head and shoulders, boom. So we knew that when we touched this line here, we knew we were going lower, but we knew we were going lower here because look, we were creating higher highs on the weekly and we were creating lower lows on the RSI, which is a bearish divergence. So we knew we knew this May dump, sell in May, go away, right? We knew this May dump was coming way back in March. Okay. So then when we have a look at this as well, we didn't get a divergence for this dump here. This was kind of like a Neptune gnarly dump here. But now what we want to be doing is watching very hard for those divergences on the weekly. So let's get up to date. Where are we here? So we don't have any bearish divergences here on the weekly. We don't have any bullish divergences on the weekly. Yet, but we might have a look at this. See this here? Low, we've got a low right here, a low on the chart and a low on the RSI. And then when we come down here, we have a lower low on the RSI, but we have a higher low on the chart. So that's where we knew we were going to get a bullish divergence, where everybody here was saying we're going into 20,000, it's going to 10,000. I don't know what they were looking at because there was a bullish divergence on the weekly, and divergences on the weekly and the daily and patterns on the weekly and the daily play out more often than patterns on the 1 hourly or the lower time frames, right? So we knew this was coming. So now we want to be watching out for modern day indications that we are getting a divergence either way to give us an indication where we're going, and we don't have it on the weekly. So let's have a look at the daily. Is this helpful for you guys? I'd love it if you like. You like the videos. We're doing tutorials here. And if you're new to the channel, we'd love your subscription. Click the bell and hit all, and make sure you go over to our Discord, because we don't do videos every day here on YouTube. We do go live weekly for a big overview, but we do daily TA in the Discord channel, because that way it's closer. Like we can go backwards and forwards. You can ask questions and you make less mistakes rather than just watching these flash in the pan videos that don't give big pictures. You go trade off of them and then you lose your trade. We don't want that karma. So we want to be engaging with you. So make sure you go over to Conscious Crypto Traders so that you can do that. I've got a couple of ninjas here. Love it. Yeah, Susan said that. That absolutely love crypto ninjas. So we don't have any divergences bearish on the daily, and we don't have any on the daily for the bullish divergences, but we do have that bigger divergence playing out as we speak. And the question is, where will we top out? And I think the top will come somewhere before or around the 30th of May. So I think we're going to see continued upward action till around about then, April, excuse me, the new moon in April, which is on the 30th. We've got a W, we're heading up. Have we got any divergences here? No, we don't. Do we have any bearish divergences? No, we don't. But this to me is early indication of a bull flag, which would confirm this W. And a W is also a bottom trend reversal pattern as well, if the second V is a higher low than the first one, which it is. So now let's look at the 1 hour. And then we'll look at a trade setup for you. Yeah, so that could be a bull flag, and it might not be. We're going to wait for a couple more hours of candles to see. It could just be a little stop off on the way up, or we could be reversing back down, as I said, to create another higher low, which is what we're doing here, right? So that bull flag, these bull flags are really horrible to play out unless it starts flattening out, because the resistance line is on an angle. And that means that if you want to, we don't know where this is going to break out, but this is going to take us up to around about 42,300 to 42,373, depending on where we break out, right? Because if we break out, the higher we break out, then obviously the higher that's going to go. Now, if you don't know how to trade a bull flag, you wait for a breakout, you wait for a retest of the previous resistance as support and bounce off of that, come back up and enter here. When we've got above the first breakout candle, we look down to the RSI. The RSI is not at the top, it's around about 60, 50%, so we've got room to move. And the reason why you would want to wait for that confirmation is that the trade could roll over on you. If you trade the breakout and you go, oh, look, it's breaking out, let me trade this, it can roll over on you and come back down, right? Which happened to a lot of people who traded this breakout on the on this breakout here. They traded this breakout, forgot to take profit here, came back down, retest, but when we retested, we did not create a higher high, we created a lower high, signifying we hit resistance, we're probably going to go down lower. Oh, let me show you that again. People traded this breakout, did not wait for a retest, did not take profit here. Then when we head back down to retest as support, the previous resistance level as support, we bounce off and did not create a higher high. And if you didn't take profit here and get out of the long, it rolled over on you and you would have got stopped out or be sitting in loss, right? And that's an M, and that M has played out. This is why you want to wait for the confirmation to go above where we broke out to signify it's not going to roll over on you. We're going to keep going up. Then you've got to look at volume and you've got to look at the RSI to make sure you've got room to go up and there's volume pushing it up so the trade doesn't roll over on you. If you got that, if you like that, go press like, press like, press like, press like. Awesome. So that's where we're at. I think with Bitcoin on the daily, I think I would be looking at watching to see if there is a little bit of a retracement, but on the daily, this is looking good. If we get a close today above 40,599 and we get an open above that, that is a good long to ride this up for the full moon dump. And even if we come back down and we create a little bit of a lower low, you can dollar cost average in. Those kind of trades are a bit risky, so therefore you don't want to be using more than 2 to 3% leverage. If it takes off on you, you just up your leverage, right? Again, not a financial advisor, giving you my opinion, showing you my strategies. You go and do your research and you make your own decisions and you take responsibility for those decisions. Kelly, I swear I need to hear this stuff 100 times before it sinks in. It's why I say it 100 times, Kelly, because you do. I mean, even with me, it's like, oh yeah, oh, there's so much to think about and you'll forget things, right? It's like, oh yeah, I forgot to take profit at the new moon. Oops, too late. Boom. Now the trade's sitting at a loss, right? So I have to remember that these new moons and these full moons are really good indicators of price action, because the price action on the charts is 100% human psychology. And we know that the moon affects human psychology. So that's that. So watch these zones here of resistance, 51,619. Oops. I have been getting very, very slow bandwidth because I need to upgrade my computer. It's like 3 years old. And I usually find with the high usage, I need to replace the laptop every 3-4 years. 57,248 and 58,800 to 60,000. I would be putting in alarms in your trading view charts. And if you don't have trading view, you should, or some charting thing, so you can put alarms in, because we want to see what is the time frame of hitting this resistance. If we get up here and we go above this before the 30th of May, 30th of April, that means that the parabolic run up could still be on. If we fail to get above 60,000 and trade above 60,000, retest it as support and get above it, by the 30th of April, we run the risk of coming down and creating a lower low, because so many traders are looking at this as the Elliott wave correction out of the top of the market, which was sitting at around 68,000, right? Believing the market's already topped out and that this is the retest. So there's going to be a lot of psychology of people going, this is it. Now we're going to have a big short. So they're going to be shorting, putting shorts in under the belief that it's going down. Then there'll be those moon boys and girls who think that this is a parabolic run up and longs are going to go in. So there's going to be some kind of a friction here, and let's see who wins. This is why you, as a trader, if you're experienced, that's great. You know what you're doing. If you're not experienced, you need to be watching these levels very closely. And as soon as you start seeing a pullback, for me personally, I've made my decision to sell out of all of my hodl positions and a lot of my spot trading positions so that I can buy back in on the dip based on the belief that these guys believe that's it, the market's over, we're going into a bear market. I don't want to be caught with a whole lot of loss in profit and value if that is what happens. Now, if by the 30th of April we get above this, then I think we're looking strong for a parabolic run up. Hey Stefan, great to see you here. We miss you. And yeah, so that's that. Is that making sense? Questions? Is that making sense, and is that helpful, guys? Right. So here's the caveat on the fact that I'm selling out of all my positions, and that's Chainlink, because I said we'll do some TA on Chainlink. Chainlink acts a little bit differently on full moon to new moon. It's kind of like got an independent flair to it. And then if you have a look at the monthly, we know that Bitcoin has a halving every 4 years. And so that has in the past given us very clear cycles, a halving, a pump, and the top of the market, and then it moved down to the downside in a bear market to the next halving when we go through that 4-year cycle. So every 4 years, we get a high, a new all-time high for Bitcoin, and then Ethereum, and then other coins that follow it. Now look at this for Chainlink. The market topped out in Chainlink in February in 2018. It then topped out again in June 2019. So within a year and a half, we got a whole bull bear cycle. Not 4 years, year and a half. This next one was June 2019 through to March 2020. So that was under a year to create another all-time high. And then here again, 2020 to 2000 and sorry, hang on. Sorry, if we create this one here, June 2019, 2020. Sorry, it was hang on, let's go back. I'm getting dyslexic. June 2019 to August 2020 is 1 year and 1 month, but we got a top here as well too. Then the next cycle top, so that was 1 year, 1 month. We went from 1 year to 6 months to 1 year and 1 month. 2020, August to the top of the market. May 2021, that was less than a year to go from all-time high to the next all-time high. So now, if we look at this for Chainlink, this looks like the bottom is in for this next year and a half cycle. So if we look at 2021 and we go to May 2022, we could get a parabolic run up in May for Link. That creates another all-time high and takes Chainlink to $52 and above, right? $52 or above $52, right? So a lot of people, a lot of traders have this idea that when the bear market's over, you just go away and you disappear and there's nothing to trade. Well, firstly, you can short the market if that's what you're interested in. And secondly, Chainlink, also XMR, which is Monero, they tend to have shorter trading patterns, so you can get in at the beginning of the cycle and get out at the end of the cycle within a year to a year and a half cycle. You don't have to wait 4 years like you do for Bitcoin and Ethereum. So that's why you're going to start seeing me doing more TA on Chainlink, because as we segue into the bear market, for the rest of the cryptos, there are still going to be cryptos that you can do. And obviously in crypto, if you're a member of Crypto Ninjas, we do cheeky buy orders where we're dollar cost averaging down on the dips. So it doesn't matter whether it's a bear or a bull market, you can still make a profit. But from a hodling position, you know, Link looks like a really good one to be getting into now, in my opinion. I've been selling out a lot of coins that I don't think are going to do more than 200% between now and the end of May, and putting it more into Link, because Link's at the bottom and we could be getting into another cycle within the next month or two, maybe August, September, somewhere between May through to September, for the hodl position to get a return on your investment, which is a lot shorter time frame than holding Bitcoin and Ethereum. So that's, speaking of Ethereum, let's look at Ethereum. Ethereum also follows the full moon, like new moon dump, full moon pump, new moon dump, and now it looks like the full moon pump started to happen. We got rejected off of the 50% at 2935, found support here. Could this be a bear flag? Yes, could be. Remember, we tend to dump into the full moon, and then we reverse. Full moon is pump, right? We get to the bottom and then we pump. So we look at that. That we could be stair stepping down. That is a possibility. I'm going to bring in the Ichimoku cloud in just a minute to have a look at where we're at. Oh no, it's around about the same. So let me just do this. Beautiful. That was very nice. Coming back down here, this could be a bear flag, and it is possible it could take us down to this next level of resistance at 27,000 and 2,730, maybe fall short where the link is at 2762. If you look to the left, we've got quite a lot of support here. It's resistance and then support, resistance and support here and back here. So that is a possibility. So if you are looking at trading Ethereum, you really need to be watching your RSI, and you need to be bringing in your Ichimoku cloud. And interestingly enough, Ichimoku cloud is showing the 15th of April heading into resistance. So we could indeed get another dump into the full moon before we pump out. So that means if you're trading in longs or shorts, if you're trading in a long, you want to take profit at resistance and then get back in on the dip. If you're shorting, you definitely want to be taking profit as it hits support levels, in case you get the bounce back up and then you get stuck for 2 weeks in a losing trade if you haven't got a stop loss, because we end up getting a really big pump. Does that make sense? Yay. Okay, cool, great. The ninjas are all in here saying hi to each other. That's funny. Okay, cool. This is a W though. So this is my sense of it. I want to come down into the 1 hour. I'm watching like a hawk for divergences right now on the shorter time frames, because I know we've got one playing out. I'm really looking at this. This could be a bull flag or a Bart Simpson. So remember, a bull flag, we've traveled across, breaks to the upside more often than the downside. But if in the next 3 hours, we've not broken to the upside out of this and we're heading into resistance, we could be coming back down for a Bart Simpson and hit 2995 or 2966, maybe even lower, right? So just let me show you that, just for those of you, I predict Bart Simpsons and inverse Bart Simpsons really well in the Conscious Crypto Traders Discord server on our daily TA, because I do a video every day for you. And then for the ninjas, we've got buy and sell orders every day. And there's a 50% off right now, guys. So the link is in the description below for you to join our private mastermind group. We have an awesome group of people. So look at that. That could be a Bart Simpson. If it is a bull flag, it needs to break out in the next couple of hours, in which case it's going to take us up to this resistance level, 3173. So that's what we need to watch out for. And at the moment, not looking good to break to the upside. Ichimoku is the baseline, red is above the conversion line, green, that's bearish. We're in the cloud, red cloud, bearish. Lagging span is in the price action, bearish, right? So now what we do is we go down into the shorter time frames to see if it's going to flip bullish, and is that going to play out? And you can see that the Ichimoku cloud buy signal has actually just been put in, but I wouldn't feel confident about that, because I would wait a little bit for me personally. Yeah, look, on the 15-minute, it's starting to look bullish. Lagging span above price action, bullish. Green sky ahead, bullish. Now we just want to make sure that we see the green conversion line. See how it was on top here? Then when it went down, so we knew we were heading down a bit more. Now we want to see it flip up above this here, and then that could confirm an early warning signal that we are going to be breaking to the upside. Awesome. And we don't have any divergences on the 15-minute. So that is that, watching this bull flag. And we'll do the daily TA on the breakouts and the trading ideas in the Discord server, Crypto Ninjas. So that's it from me for today. Just a quick note, in the link description below, you'll find the link for getting on our whitelist to get 3 NFTs for the price of 1 in our awesome project, which is a photography project, and photography NFTs are set to take off big time this year. And we're certainly hoping that ours will. We're doing everything we can to make sure it does that, so it's inflationary for our collectors. We're also raising consciousness around freedom and creating paradigm shifts and doing all sorts of amazing in real life events coming up as well for our collectors. So want to get in on that, you can go to quantumfreedomnfts.com, link below, get on the whitelist, gives you all the details of what you need to do. And that expires on the 21st April. So you're going to want to do that kind of quick, smart. And then my Trading Crypto Ninjas group down there, 50% off. The coupon code that you need to put in to get 50% off is in there. And we'd like to see you in there. It's a great group, and we go from beginners to advanced. And right now we're gearing up to be able to still make big profits during the bear cycle instead of packing up and going away, because there are ways that you can do that. NFTs is one of them, Chainlink, looking at metaverse, another ways as well. So yeah, we hope to see you over there. And hey, Chaotic Coder, great to see you here. I was thinking about you earlier this morning, wondering how you guys were doing. So yeah, that's it from me. And until then, trade consciously, and I'll see you in Discord server for our daily TA. Bye for now.